To integrate local push notifications, first install the dependencies. Data picker is needed for this example so the user can select exact time when it will fire. Then add these two in the plugin section of the app.json. And next thing related to Android. On older Android devices, well, before Android 14, if you want a notification to fire at precise time, you need the schedule exact alarm. That changed since Android 14 and up. Schedule exact alarm, you can declare it, but it will be denied by default. If you want the alternative, you can use the use exact alarm. But if you declare it like this, Google Play reviewers might object because they restrict this only to apps whose core functionality is an alarm or a calendar. Next thing related to Android, if you are using ProGuard, be sure to add Expo notifications in the exclusion rule. Otherwise, obfuscation might mess with it. Notifications won't be shown before the user allows them. On iOS, you won't even see the notification settings in the app system settings. So let's check now. If you don't allow, this system prompt will only appear once per install on iOS and I think several times on Android. After I check the don't allow, I have a solution that falls back to application settings so user can enable notifications by himself. And this is on the left side how the code looks like. Try to ask for a system prompt. If you can't ask for a system prompt, then fall back to the notification settings, which means just enabling it over here. Okay, so now what happened? Since enabling permission means leaving the app, then enabling it in app settings and coming back to the app, I recheck the status. Whenever the app comes back to the foreground, I refresh the status if the permission for notifications was granted. Oh, and this one is specific to Android. In addition to providing a permission, you have to set up notification channels. If you schedule before channel is created, Android will probably ignore it. iOS doesn't have a concept of channels, so it's no. Otherwise, this is some generic helper I created for my different kinds of reminders. In my demo, I have 3 different types of reminders belonging to 3 channels. You assign it with the channel ID, so user can mute them either from the app if you provide it, or either from the app settings. I declared 3 types of reminders, daily, weekly, and random, to show 3 different concepts, but there are more options. And important to note, there is no random choice here, so I had to make up my own. So what I do, I pick a range from the start hour and end hour that the user chooses, how many times it should appear, and then I calculate my candidates. To achieve randomness, I include a random jitter. Also, my candidate shouldn't be shorter than 20 minutes. That's a solution, but think with this kind of randomness, once it's scheduled, it will appear at the same calculated times the next days until the user reopens the app. I create my schedule functions to be idempotent. That means they can be called as many times as I'd like and they would always behave the same. And why is that? When scheduling a notification, you need to pick a stable identifier. And why is that? It's because you schedule it again, you need to cancel the previous scheduled notifications because they are recalculated again. And why is this called cancel by ID or prefix? This is because my random push notification includes some dynamic scheduled push notifications, and then I search them all before canceling what are present, and all of that dynamic push notifications have a prefix, and then I can safely cancel. Besides the trigger, remember I said that Android needs to assign a notification to channel ID, so you need to provide the channel ID if working for Android. For iOS, it doesn't matter. It will just be ignored because iOS doesn't have a concept of channels. Daily, it's a simple one. It's a trigger that that runs on daily basis. Add the user selected hour and minute, and it's assigned to a channel. And why I chose the schedule weekly also, there's a difference where user chooses day of the week. You might notice the first day of the week is Sunday, and it is with Expo notifications. It always starts with Sunday and starts at number 1, not 0, number 1. If you want to display different day of the week, well, there's some additional calculation, and you probably need to include the Expo localization to find out what the user's first day of the week. And I have to tell you, it's not reliable, so I also have a first day of the week configurable from the app settings. This handler is important. Without that, a foreground notification is silently swallowed. And if you want a quick test of your push notifications, you can use this one and don't commit it. And this is how it looks like. With scheduling, you're only halfway there. Every reminder is user configurable and you have to save the software. So for the purpose of this example, I use async storage, but you can use, I don't know, SQLite. This is what helps me to recalculate user selected preferences on upload. Every time it's loaded, I load what's in the async storage, my daily, weekly and my random, and then I reschedule them. Rescheduling is idempotent. Before every scheduling, the previous ones are cancelled. So let's go back to scheduling. The user taps on push notification that the app routes it to the correct screen. So how I do that? I provide the screen necessary in the data, and then I have a listener which is contained in the root layout. And this is the important part. The Expo router picks what was provided by the notification content data and routes to that specific screen and necessary screen params. You might see some repetition route from response on line 70 and line 77, but these handle different life cycle of the app. This one is the cold start, when app is launched by tapping a notification, and this one is a warm start. This means app is already running. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is the exact concept, well, similar concept I included in my dream journal app called Dreamiary. If you have a lot of dreams, be sure to check out my app. Otherwise, hit like, subscribe. Thanks for watching this video. Oh yes, and all of the code is available on GitHub, in GitHub repository, linked in the description.